And we're live. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the latest edition of the Social Media Power Chat. My name is Mia Voss, and I've got a fabulous, fabulous panel for you today. I'm hoping everybody can actually see the show because I got the new Hangout schedule, Hangout on Air, so there might be two places where this show is. So please, for anybody that's on the event, could you let us know if you can see us? That would be awesome. So, because we have got some kick butt people today, I'm going to start off with my first guest who agreed to appear on the show because I nerded out so badly when he said yes. Stephan Hovnanian, who apparently I'm the only person who knows how to say your name besides you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited.
Welcome to the show. You look fantastic. And then we have Mr. Ben Fisher from Steady Demand, and he is out of Phoenix. Stephan is out of New Hampshire. I'm out of Denver. And then we have Rebecca Radice.
Good morning. From the West Coast.
And out of LA, exactly. Welcome, everyone. So when I started looking at what the show was going to be about, first of all, because I was just backcrack crazy for having all these powerhouses on there, I noticed that the theme was strategy across the board. So we're definitely going to be talking about that. So if you guys have, I know there's a lot of you who are big fans of all these people that are on the panel, so take advantage because they are here and then we're going to be answering questions. So we are here for you. But first, we're going to read some of your comments because you know this is one of my favorite things. So Randy Hilarski, what's up, brother? Down in Panama, we are going to get our learn on. Thank you, Charlotte Pierce, sweetheart. She says all set, looks good. Highlands Fields, looking forward to a great show. Know any good jokes? I don't know, you guys. That's all you. So you want to start with that. Brother Craig Fifield, also out of New Hampshire. That's one of your BFFs, right? Stephan.
Oh yeah, he's awesome. Craig's fantastic. I met him we met last week.
You had an IRL, right?
Yup.
In real life, as they say on Hangout. So again, guys, we're going to be reading your comments, and then for the folks over at the other event, we've got 23 people over there, so I'll try and pull those in as well. But as you know, it's not my show unless there's something cray-cray or a hot mess that's fixing to happen. So with that, we're going to jump into strategy conversation because, again, what I'm loving. So, you know, Stephan, your specialty is web strategy, but obviously Google Plus too. So let me hear about your shiny. Let's talk about you for a few minutes.
Oh, thanks. All right. Well, yeah. So I'm originally from the web design, email marketing world, and last year I hopped onto Google Plus because I realized it was a great platform for me to kind of showcase the knowledge that I've accumulated over the last 12 years, and just kind of took on a life of its own, which has been fantastic. But I would say, like in the last few months, I've realized that okay, this is all kind of coming back full circle. So the reasons I got on in the first place were to talk about how at least, well, I guess how Google Plus itself as a platform, you know, synced in with Google and YouTube and Gmail and all the other Google products, it can help a company who's trying to market themselves a little bit better online. So make it part of your overall web footprint, your overall web strategy. And like I said, it kind of took a life of its own. Now, you know, I think at this point I'm kind of going a little more back to that. So so I'm focusing more on companies that want to bring themselves into a little bit more robust and integrated version of marketing online for themselves, and I'm using Google Plus as a big part of that. And you know, still pull that back onto their website because that's the most important part of their web presence, and incorporate email marketing as well because that's still a huge piece of I think the commercial element of and the conversion element of your online marketing strategy. That's never going to go away, folks. I don't care how many articles you read. Email is not dead.
And subscriber list, right?
Oh, the list is gold.
It is money, right, my friend?
Anybody who has a tribe of people and is not creating a list on that they can take with them from one place to another is shooting themselves in the foot. The minute that network changes the rules, you're in trouble. In fact, can I do a quick little shout out to a buddy of mine from college?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Is
So
this is an early back crap crazy.
this
I
is
like
an
it.
early one, but it's so appropriate. So check this out, right? Great, good friend of mine, Drew Myler, from we both went to college together, and it turns out, you meet people in college and high school and stuff, and that's the part you have in common with them. Well, it turns out that Drew is actually in the same space that I am as a professional, which is really wild. So we've been able to stay connected, but he works for a company called Signal, which does this kind of like integrated marketing and whatnot. And we actually talked about this exact thing, about how your email list is an asset and how you need to treat that as an asset. And just this past week, Drew has kind of swallowed the red pill and come over here onto Google Plus and has totally fallen in love with it. So, he's a really great guy, first of all, smart, and whatnot, but he gets it, which is so cool. So I feel like a proud little papa here,
You
bringing one of
do.
my buddies over to Google Plus. But yeah, so
Let's
hi, Drew.
give this for him. Hey, Drew.
There we go.
Nice.
I got us to do this real quick because this is the first one out. Jeff C. There it is. You knew that was going to happen. I thought George Clooney was on. What up, Jeff C? I think that's going to be starting to be a new trend, that anytime you're on, it's going to be who's going to mention, like a drinking game, who's going to say George Clooney first for you. It's fun.
For me, I know that was so funny.
Yeah, I think
Thank the
Bethan's.
crap star for that one.
Yeah, thank you. That was for Bethan on that one too. Hey, Ben Fisher, let's talk about you. So you are down
Right.
in Arizona. You got a little strategy plan too. So what's going on with that?
Yeah, so I mean, basically, I started back in 1994 with internet marketing, and kind of saw the whole convergence of social and SEO. As soon as Google Buzz came out, I was a beta tester of Buzz and a beta tester of Google Plus, and internet marketing consultant for hosting companies for about the past 10 years. And we had companies coming to us basically saying, hey, we've been penalized, we've gotten a manual penalty or an automated penalty, a message in Google Webmaster Tools, and said, okay, well, let's start really looking hard at Google Plus and how we can actually naturally earn links versus going out and buying links, which is what the habits were. And what we found out real quickly was, oh my God, Google Plus and the social layer and what you can do with it was actually able to balance out all of the negative effects that they were getting. And maintain their rankings, and the rankings actually started to rise. So that's why we started to say demand. And after we started to say demand, we found that, oh, you know what, the hosting industry, they really don't care about Google Plus, so we've got to start doing education. And, so we're managing brand pages, we're getting great effects, and we were like, okay, you know what, there's a certain kind of steps that we do whenever we set up a new client. So why don't we put out an education tool that teaches people how to set up their brand page properly to their website, make that connection. So we started with the Google Plus free brand audit tool, and that took off really well. And since then, we've also had kind of internal tools that we built for our clients, just to do reporting and prove kind of return on investment, as well as, so our people, they could kind of monitor what's going on with their brand pages, and also, basically focus really on the intent of every single post. And then watch that intent and track it backwards to whatever tracking system we're using, whether it's Google Analytics, etc. And then after the brand audit tool success, we were like, you know what? Let's go ahead and let's be good, and let's make this into a tool that everybody can learn from, because everybody's going to have these same problems when they're starting up a new Google Plus page. So let's build something that can help educate brand managers, educate personal brands, and see actually what's happening with your Google Plus page, and then track that back. We've actually, later on, we're going to be building a whole ROI piece to it as well. So,
but the biggest thing you're saying too is setting it up properly. I mean, to talk about it can be so detrimental for people of not getting it out right out of the gate, and then you're constantly trying to redo things, or you're just having to relearn. Definitely. So what's your time frame on that? Kind of when you started the whole Steady Man, especially, I mean, I love this piece of like tracking. How much we all love that too, because we're just trying to figure out where's it going, who cares, who's listening, right?
Well, we started with ROI right out of the gate internally
Mm-hmm.
because hosting companies are all about return on investment with everything that they do, even if it's branding.
Yep.
They track it down super granularly. So we started Stay Demand in unofficially in November of last year. Officially, we started right around January 22nd-ish. I think that is when
Okay.
we incorporated our LLC. But yeah, I mean, so we've been doing it pretty much for almost a year, actually. Well, actually, a little bit over a year. So
Yeah.
and helping a lot of brands really just succeed.
And how fun just to watch. I mean, just because I've only really been in the Google Plus world since February, so about the same time frame you guys have been too, and it's been fun. Not only to, just grow my circles, but then watch everybody around me and watch this just crazy explosions everywhere. And so it's good. It's good tracking on that. Awesome. All
Yeah.
right. Miss Rebecca, what about you? What's your shiny? I know what your shiny is, and I love it. So I drank your Kool-Aid, girlfriend, but tell us about you.
Well, yeah, I'd love to hear your version of my shiny.
Well, I just think that everybody just loves what you're putting out there. I'm going to tell you, I stalked your website. I stalked all of it. You've got such a great message, and I love how you are across the board too. You've got your Twitter action going on. You're over here. You're making it happen, and I love that integrated program that you got going on.
Well, thank you. I guess for me, my shiny would be personal branding. I've been in marketing for over 17 years, and it's my passion is helping people take an established offline reputation and really transition that into the online world and figure out how they can monetize social media. I think we're all talking about that this morning, and especially with 2014 right around the corner, everybody thinking about how can I strategically use social media. That's what I help people do every single day, is get over that mental hurdle of I can't do it, I'm afraid of it, it doesn't work. And help them really figure out how to take all of those social media channels like you're talking about and integrate them into a content marketing plan, a strategic social media marketing plan, and really see some value out of what they've been doing offline, and figure out how to create that voice we talk so much about, but also that consistent branding across all of their channels.
And that's awesome, and I see that a lot. I have talked to a couple. I think I have some clients for you, because there's how Google Plus works right there.
That's right.
Probably a good example of it is that when I was working more client based, my thing was that I was working with what I call serial entrepreneurs, who same thing. They were kind of sitting on these gold mines, but really weren't leveraging it at all. Kind of old school. To doing conferences and speaking and things like that, but not broadcasting any of it at all, right?
Yeah, it's amazing.
So it is. In fact, so maybe some good examples of that. I had talked with a gentleman this week who's in the health field, and he had same thing. He's super popular. I mean, he's a big deal, and you see him on LinkedIn. He's engaged with all these different folks, but nothing on Twitter. You got to get the cricket sound right, or nothing on Google Plus at all. And I was like, oh, honey, you are just leaving money on the table. Like, you have got to do that. But I love what Stephan is saying too, and you're all saying, of like integrating all these pieces. It's not just one. I mean, clearly we're bat crap crazy about Google Plus, right? But it's about integrating all of those. So with that, let's just kind of jump in on Rebecca, continue on that too, with what kind of strategies you throw out for your clients, and then for yourself too, because we can kind of talk about that, because we're all a brand here too.
Yeah. Well, and obviously loving Google Plus the way we all do, we're all big into content marketing, obviously. And for me, that really is the foundation. And what you were just talking about, I see and hear every single day. People that have so much content right at their fingertips and don't even realize it. They're out there speaking, they're talking, to clients on a daily basis. They've been writing content maybe for a website or a blog for years, and aren't doing anything with it across social media, which is, to us, probably stunning. but helping them figure out, okay, how can you repurpose this content? How can you take this, breathe new life into it, get it in front of a whole new audience? And I think that's where the light bulb goes off for a lot of people, where they finally realize, oh, this isn't as hard as I was making it out to be, because I really do have an abundance of content right at my fingertips.
Sure. That's what's great to have clients like that too, that are, again, they've had years of content and speaking engagements and all, and mailing lists and all of that. And don't you guys think that's one of the more fun moments when they finally see it, they get that light bulb of and you get them excited. You know, at first in your head you're like, oh dear, you're missing out. But then you get them all jacked up, and how fun is that with the clients?
Yeah, it's awesome.
You know, I'll jump in on that one really quickly with a little story here. We have a company that we work with called Custom Button Co. And it's actually a really fun brand. And they do custom promotional buttons. And they actually have another company called Patch Superstore too. But anyway, I was talking to them the other day, and basically they were like, well, you know, how can we generate some really great content? And from a strategic standpoint, you know, asked them a very simple question. Okay, look, you know, we need to make a content marketing plan so we can basically build out an editorial schedule for next year. We want to create some mega indexes, for instance, you know, that do center around some of their core main hero keywords. Said, you know, go to your sales staff, go to your support staff. Find out, you know, what are people asking about and what do people really want to know about, and use that kind of as a source of inspiration of different types of basically articles that we can create and kind of tie together and weave into this kind of big, almost basically like a book, basically, but for their blog. And then repurpose all of those articles into videos, Pinterest boards, quips, one-liners, etc.
Yeah, again, don't they get so excited when it's just like you just turned it and said, okay, now look how this looks, and you've made it into a story, and then across the board too.
If anybody needs a good book for this, Content Rules by Ann Handley and CC Chapman, read it a couple of years ago. It's exactly what Ben just said. And
yeah.
It lays out, you know, I think there's 11 or 12 of them, different rules, and it explains everything perfectly. A lot of great ideas, and it just encourages you to figure out how to tell your story, figure out maybe what the platform is, the best platform for you to tell that story is. There we go. And then from there, you know, you figure out the different ways that you can repurpose it and kind of, you know, just amplify the reach and get out there into different places, different, you know, networks, whatnot. Great book, though.
And please post that link. And boy, you guys, it is resonating big time with our fans. This is for you, Rebecca, Annabelle, and Randy. Those are my favorites. They love Rebecca. I don't know if that's showing up. One of our mentors. So that one's for you.
I love both of them.
Yeah, I think we're all big fans of them too. We were saying last night on one of the other shows that the great thing about Google Plus is now it's giving all of us a giant list of places we're going to visit and people we can go stay with.
Right.
So look out, Panama, because I've already got people fired up last night. Apparently, I'm going to get them fired up for that today. I love this comment from Lynn. I think part of the reason business owners don't realize how much content they already have is because they don't understand the business terminology, so it's our job to help explain it, educate why we get big bucks. I like that. Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you, Lynn. She's going to be on our show next week. What are some other strategy things we can talk about too? I was just thinking when you guys were saying that too, I love also the strategy and kind of looping on what you said, Stephan. Everybody's going to be different, so it's not this, you know, I always say that cookie cutter thing, like you work with people and help pull out what's the best way, right? Or what the best message is.
Yeah, I mean, I would say everybody knows, you know, if you've been in business a long time, and I think the ones who are a little, you know, the ones who've been in business a long time and are probably the ones struggling the most with making this jump into marketing themselves online. You know, like I have a client who's turning 50 next year, their company. And so, you know, I'm thinking, gosh, there's so many different things we can do with this. I mean, it's like through the roof, you know, the different types of things. I mean, when they turned 40, they did a bunch of cool stuff, but you know, that was 10 years ago. Not a lot of social media back then, right? So now it's totally different, and you know a lot about your business. You can answer a lot of questions that people have asked about your business. I would say if you're going to pick something to dip your toes into, start answering questions. You know, start saying, what are the things that people have asked us about, or what are the things that, like, I do this myself. It's like I see something in the comments, or somebody will post something in a comment or whatever, and it's like, oh, I've written an article about that, and it's the whole point being, it's answering somebody's questions. It's taking a pain point and it's saying, let me just help you figure it out. And
right.
With the way that search has actually been evolving, this plays perfectly into that strategy, like perfectly. So if if you're able to just start up a blog, or maybe just create some kind of content that's properly tied into your whole web footprint, and you do it in a way that helps answer questions, you're positioning yourself as a valuable resource. You get great brands, and it's great branding, brand recognition for your company. That kind of stuff sticks around for a lot longer than just answering, just writing about the latest and greatest. So those are because it's all tied into business fundamentals. It's all tied into experience that you have because you've been doing this for so long. I mean,
sure.
It doesn't have to be a real big production type thing. You just get out there, you set up an FAQ page, or just do like there was a fantastic HOA on Wednesday with Joan Stewart and on Denise Wakeman's show about creating a Pinterest board of things that are of just tips, and having that board be sort of a central location.
Sure.
If you talk about integrating stuff, first off, everybody's got to go check that out. Your mind will be blown. But talk about creating a whole big integrated strategy. I mean, the boards are indexed and searched under your profile. So the pins are they're all kind of floating out there in Google land, but the boards themselves are actually organized under your profile. So that's part of your footprint on Pinterest. And Pinterest has a bunch of things that people talk about how great it is in terms of search, and I think it's moving towards more of a commercial oriented platform. So you show up over there, and if you can get some traffic, or just build a bit of a footprint over there in that kind of way, my gosh, the possibilities are endless. And that's easy. Like, that's real easy stuff,
I love it when you said pain point. That is always such a good way a lot of times to just figure out what that message is going to be. And also I love everything you're saying. We can all use this for ourselves as businesses, and then for clients also. So I'm digging that. Somebody just commented that they're seeing the Q&A, so if we could let us know how that's looking, by the way. But I wanted to throw up a couple. Jason Weiser, hi, my brother, huge Repurpose fan here. HOA blog, podcast, screencast, snip, tuck, rinse, repeat. That is perfect. And then did you guys have any other comments on what Stephan just said? Because I've got a question, but if you want to loop on that too, because that was super juicy.
Absolutely, and I'd love to hear what you all actually have to say on this one. But like, one of the things that we do whenever we bring on a new client, we have what's called our Getting to Know You month, and this is where we and the people who are going to work on the account, just get to know the customer. We do things, and we have some ups and we have some downs, and we fix them. But one of the things that we do, and we kind of include, is we build basically buyer personas. For basically 3 to 4 different buyer personas for our client. So, and then we build out actually a persona for the customer itself, so that way we always stay on point with their personality and their brand. So Stephan or Rebecca, do you have any kind of tips on building personas? Have you guys done any of that?
Absolutely, and that definitely speaks to what Stephan was talking about in identifying what those questions are, what those pain points are, those needs are, what are they out there talking about every single day. And my guess is that you're talking about those things to your clients. Whatever those questions are that one person has, you could be willing to bet 50 other people have the same question.
Absolutely.
So really tapping into that, knowing exactly what the needs are, what their desires are, what their fears are, what is keeping them from moving forward. That's a big one too. But the buyer persona is so important. And my background, my first life, as I say, was radio, and we spent a lot of time identifying who we were talking to, because unlike this today, we didn't see those people that we were talking to on a daily basis. So you really had to have a great idea in your head every single day of what was the age, what was you know, if she was a 35-year-old female, what did she do on a daily basis? What did her morning look like? What did her day consist of? How many kids did she have? What was her family life? Was she single? So I think that's kind of where you were headed, Ben, with that. And it's just really diving deep into not only who that person is, but what do they do during the day that you can really speak to.
And more importantly, like what Stephan was saying, which is identifying those pain points. Because if you can identify at least 6 pain points per persona, then you can really hyper-target your content for just that individual kind of vertical or person.
Exactly.
Well, I would actually go one step further, even though I'll be the first one to admit, as much as I love buyer personas, I have not set these up yet. And it's killing me because it was a project for this year, but then Google Plus kind of took over. So, and we all know how well that works.
And
And
here we are.
Yeah.
So maybe next year I'll be able to do it. But yeah, knowing where, we talk about answering questions and identifying pain points, knowing where those pain points show up in the buying process is real gold, because somebody might not have that question yet. And if you're leading with that question, or if you're trying to reach a new market by, you're trying to reach part of an audience with this idea, and you know that, oh my God, this is something that I know people are going to ask this question, and you're going to go out there and try and put it out there, but they don't ask that question until literally right before they buy, but they have 15 questions before that. You're going to kind of shoot yourself in the foot, you jump the gun. And I would also say to what both Ben and Rebecca said, about knowing what your buyers are doing at various times in the day, that also you can tailor that. This isn't just for social media posts. This is, or what the question or thing, the thing you're going to be talking about is. It's also like your email marketing. You might purposely decide not to do, and this is going to be so blasphemous, but you might purposely decide not to do a real stripped down mobile friendly version of an email with a call to action to buy when you send it out at a certain time of day, because you know that your buyer is not, they're on a subway on their phone at that certain time of day. They're not buying anything. They probably don't even have Wi-Fi, or some type of data connection. So it's pointless. You'll do a little bit more of a heavy design one, something that'll totally grab their attention when they're at their desk or on their laptop, and you know what time that is because you track all this stuff. So that was a lot extra. I mean, you guys are getting your learn on today. I hope everybody can put at least one little thing that we're talking about.
Get your learn on.
Yeah.
That is exactly what we wanted to, is just to pull out for things, all these different strategies. I love it too, and thinking in terms of back to that of what pain points are, what people are doing throughout the day. I feel like social media has become much more about just the 9 to 5. It's what gets people's heart going. A lot more people are doing things that they're doing because they love it, which I'm digging too. So you got to admit, it's a lot more of a personal thing than just about money. Not to say we don't love it, but it is of why we're doing that too. Hey, I'm going to give a quick shout out. Lynn is my my little Twitter person today. We got some crazy tweets from Randy and High Impact, so thank you for that. That's over on Twitter. And then Debbie Davis at Stephan, talking strategy, not so crazy. It's strategy, logical, planned, effective. Awesome. So now we're got Charlotte wants to know, what about people like me who are into a bunch of different things, book publishing, trade association, concert production, author interview? Do you know anyone like that, and how to integrate the social med? I think we've all looked like we have short attention span, but we have a lot of things going on. So would anybody like to dive into that question? And I can put this back up to book publishing, trade association, concert production, author interview show. Anybody have any comments on that? Because I think it's talking more again about, with a bunch of different things, about integration, and I think the thing you just have to be careful of is not being too confusing to people. But I can tell from being on here, you always ask so what is your money maker, and then what are you doing? Because a lot of people are doing a lot of different things. Agreed?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We all have, well, you have niches that personally you're interested in, and I think those are great to share, because those are kind of like a coffee table book. They create conversation. Those are those little things that allow people to get to know you better, give you some insight into what you enjoy outside of your moneymaker, as you said, Leah. But yes, you've got to be very careful not to muddy the waters.
Agreed, agreed, and it is very tough. And I think that let's talk about, go back to branding again too. What is it? I know for myself, I had to do that. Is the Mia Connect, or is it Mia Voss? Still working on that, but it's always going to be, really, yeah. What is your message? And once you get that, I think you can start blasting that out, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But it's definitely, and Ben and I know Stephan can both talk to this from an SEO perspective as well. It's super important that you identify what it is you're talking about, what your message is, what you want to put out there, because so much of it is consistency, just consistently getting that out there and getting that out there across multiple channels, obviously, but making sure that, yeah, you may feel like a broken record, but we all know you've got to say it over and over and over again for it actually to start to sink in and people to understand that, hey, oh, wait a second, I need this particular, whatever it is in my life, and Mia's the gal that's going to be able to provide it for me because I see her all the time. I see her on Facebook, Google+, Twitter. I can connect with her, no matter where I'm spending my time, and I know what she's all about because you're talking about it day in and day out.
Mm-hmm. And it's always that line of, when I think of this, I think of this person, not just for me, but for my friends. It's that extra step, right? It's not just one-on-one. It's the people are talking and sharing it. Jump in there, Ben.
And I have to agree 100% with what Rebecca just said there, actually. But to go back to Charlotte Pierce's question, which I think is actually a very good question. It's a great question because I think we all suffer from this problem, which is that we all know a lot of different things. We have a lot of different passions, right? And we find it hard to really focus. And to kind of say, okay, this is what I'm going to promote. This is my passion. I always say, pick your passion and play to that as your strength. So if you're in book publishing, your trade association, concert production, author interview show, pick one of those. Which is one that you love the most, that resonates the most with you, and is going to resonate the most, more importantly, with your clients and your, again, your passion. And really focus your social media efforts on that. Once you can get one of those off the ground and really make it resonate, and to go back to what you were saying, Rebecca, we all know that one of the true points in advertising is you have to get something in front of the same person at least 5 to 7 times for it to really connect with them. But if you can get one of those niches off the ground, now you've got kind of a formula that you can build to extend into your other passions.
That's true. That's a great point. Great point. You know what? There's also a couple other strategic mechanical ways that you can do this that aren't, I totally agree with Ben in terms of picking a focus. Maybe some of the other things that you're interested in, you post less frequently about. A lot of this is sort of an evolution into some self-control. It's so easy for us to share everything. That it's just so easy, right? Yes. And but you really do have to exercise a little self-control. I mean, I would say if anybody, just go look at your profile. I mean, just go look at your last 20, 30 posts and just see if you were a total stranger. Change it for here on Google+, and I think on Facebook too. You can do it. Or you can look at it as a different person, so that you don't see all of your private things and whatnot. But just look and say, if I were coming onto this, person's profile to find out what they were about, would I have a good idea of this or no? Or are they totally all over the place? So just something to think about. Another thing, again, mechanically, that you can do, at least here on Google+, but you could do it on Pinterest. You can do it on, you could do it with Twitter. It's a little more effort, but you can create a, I guess you can even do it on Facebook. You just create different pages. They don't have to be brands like your company. They can just be topical. And so, I mean, I've put an article out about that a few months ago, and it's the idea of, like, for my blog, it's not my company, but it's about building a better, smarter web presence. So I created a page called A Better, Smarter Web Presence, and I use that to share kind of like the best of the best stuff. And then once in a while, I'll realize, I'm not looking for it to get a gazillion followers, and I'm not looking for it to, participate in tons of different conversations, because first off, tagging A Better, Smarter Web Presence looks kind of stupid. So I just go back in and I comment and I leave my name and whatnot. But the point is, once in a while, I'll say, hey, it's time to bring maybe one of these more focal things for me personally into the forefront. So I can give people exposure to that page by sharing one of those posts over to my profile. And it's just like you would do it with your company, but it's done in a way that kind of tells people, hey, I have this other thing going on. And if you are, if I'm a little too much all over the place for you, this is me. And that I'm the one posting when I'm posting about it on this particular page. So go check it out. And that's something you can it's more work, but you can totally do it.
I like that better. So you're thinking a page and not a community, because then in a community you would be kind of a jerk if you're not engaging, but you're just having this landing page per se of this persona hat that you've got on and this thinking cap, that the mindset you're in, right?
Yeah.
Like that for that page. I like that. And I'll tell you, I had to actually do that on Facebook. I have a Mia Voss page because I've got the social media, and then for those of you who know it, I also have this building inspection business. So I literally have, I wear a lot of hats, and it's me with the tiara and me with a hard hat and then the whole thing, and just decided that's how I thought I would at least get it out there to say, just so you're not confused, I have all these different things, and I kind of keep that up a little bit and then just leave it over there and then focus when I'm in this mindset when I'm over here in Google+. So but I love that idea. Yeah, just set, and I think I've actually seen that page, Stephan. Now, do you actually post that to your personal page as well? Hey, if you'd like to see me thinking this way, head on over to this page. Would you
I
suggest
do once
that?
in a while when it's appropriate. I used I think when it hit, 750 followers, I think, a couple of months ago. No, a few weeks ago. I shared the page over to my profile and just said, hey, if anybody's interested in this, and actually I'm probably due to put this page out again. It's been a while. I mean, I know that it's kind of made the rounds, but it's because I think now that more businesses, especially at least on Google Plus, are coming on to Google Plus, it's probably a good idea to remind people that, hey, here's one way you can split yourself up. I mean, it's more. I'm going to flat out say it's more work. You know, I mean, because you can't. It's also hard. It's totally worth it, and I don't have to worry about so much being on top of things, and I have a bunch of just posts that I've saved sort of as drafts, and I can do it in Sprout Social, which is like a Hootsuite type thingy, but I can just, because I can post as a page, I'll do that, and then I go back to them when I go back to them, and I can put in all my little plus mentioning and do the right thing by the page. But it's more just, it's almost like a bookmark for myself too. It's like, hey, here's, I've read 30 amazing posts over the course of the week. Let me just dump 5 or 6 of them in there. And then, I'll just make sure in a rather timely way I'm putting a couple of things in there. Plus, it's also cool, again, sorry to get mechanical on you, but the fact that you can use the third-party tools like Sprout Social, Hootsuite, and Buffer to post as a page. I can go out there now, again, depending on how much more I want to build this thing up, I can actually go out there into the rest of the internet and find really great articles from other people through Twitter or through LinkedIn or Pinterest or heck, even Facebook. Once in a while, they'll surprise you, flash it with a flash of brilliance. Or through email newsletters, or Feedly or Scoop It. I mean, all these other places where we can get information, or heck, just a Google search, and I can post it, do my own little write-up, and then have it just set it up that way. Whereas I can't always do that. If I go on a tear and say, let me go find 30 really great articles that I'll post over the next couple of weeks, I'd be forced to post them on my profile all at once, and that's just totally not cool.
Yeah, it would really confuse you. With that, I want to segue into stuff that works for you, like Feedly or like Sprout Social. I know for myself, I don't know if you guys have used Bundle Post. Robert Crusoe was on the show. That's a great way to find a bunch of stuff and then schedule it out. But tell me what little tips, tools that you all are loving. And Ben, this is going to definitely segue into your exciting new thing too. But Rebecca, what's working for you? Ben, we're going to end with you because you're on that, because you've got some exciting. But Rebecca, what things do you like to make your life easier?
Well, Stephan and I are both huge fans of Sprout Social. I absolutely love it. Third-party management tool, like you said, similar to Hootsuite. What I love so much about it is what they call their smart inbox. And you can manage multiple different social networks, monitor keywords, so really a brand management tool all in one location instead of jumping from stream to stream, which was just becoming a little overwhelming to me. I love their app, so for people that are on the go, it's a fantastic app. And then I use Buffer every single day, hand in hand with that, and just love the fact that you can take a look at your best times to post. You can sync that with Buffer. You can just drop great content in there. Feedly works really well with Buffer. So there's a million different tools out there, obviously, but those would be my two top go-to.
And with that, that's why I'm asking you guys, because there are a million ones, but I love to hear what my influencers and my favorites are using too. Real quick, what's the price point on Sprout Social?
You know, I am not sure off the top of my head. Gosh, I want to say
$39 a month.
That's what I was going to say.
So I'm grandfathered in. I've been a long time.
I am too. That's why I don't know.
Hurts. That hurts, but I like it. That's always good to know too. There's so many different things. I always like to say that to people. Like, you kind of have to be careful because you've got $5 here or $10 here. You need to, take a look at all these things that you purchased. I mean, literally, and just see if you've got some overlap on it, and if there's something like Sprout Social that you could boot a couple other things and do that too. So, Stephan, any other great tools that you're loving?
Obviously, I like Evernote Social as well. I would add. I don't use Buffer, but I would add Evernote. So for me, my little arsenal consists of a lot of right-clicking with my mouse, and I use the Evernote web clipper a lot. So yeah, I'll put things into Evernote a lot and then go back to them later. But I can also, for me, it's a lot of it is Sprout Social, and just a lot of copy paste and search. I do a lot of search. If you know how to search, it's easy to find exactly what you're looking for, and work from there. Tools wise, I think, gosh, that's it. I'm pretty simple. I try and keep things simple. It's funny. I see these people doing their screen shares and all, like their little videos with like 1,800 tabs running across the top, and I'm like, I got 3. That's it.
That might be a male-female thing too.
I don't know.
Don't look at my, because they've got that. Hey, real quick, Rebecca. Jason wanted to know if you use virtual assistants. If you use VAs.
Yes, absolutely.
Good question. And then, what is your favorite source for finding VAs? We're getting into your secret sauce. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I probably wouldn't be the right person to ask that to, just because I've done it all by referral.
Excellent.
So I haven't gone to necessarily one resource, just people that have worked with VAs. And my biggest secret is building relationships with VAs on Twitter. They are phenomenal on Twitter, and you can really get a good feel of how they're managing their own presence on Twitter. How detailed, how thorough they are.
Sure. Talk about being this transparent way to see. All right, let's see what you got. Right.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Right there. So, all right. With that, I'm going to let to Ben. I have no idea what that noise was.
That was my dog.
Oh, dog bomb.
Yeah,
was coming into the room.
She got excited about Ben Fisher. She can't wait. She's barking it out.
Can we get a whoop?
Exactly. All right, Mr. Ben, what do you got in your arsenal?
All right. So I actually kind of go against the grain on this line of thought. I do not use Sprout Social. I've used it in the past. It's not because it's not a great tool. It's just not great for our business. I use Hootsuite, but I only use that actually for Twitter. So when it comes to Google+, since our company focuses only on Google+, as far as managed services and tools go, is we like to do things organically. We like to do it naturally. We like to live in the stream, in the circles, in the communities, and actually behave as it's happening, versus just planning a post and then slapping it out there and then maybe come back tomorrow and checking it out and seeing what happened, or coming back in a couple hours. We want to throw it out there in the stream, and when somebody engages on that post, we want to be there right away, right now, immediately. With Mr. Jingles goes off, we need to react.
Gotcha.
So I'm not a fan of those kind of automation tools. Now, that being said, I am very much a fan of having a process in the background to manage all of that. So we built our own internal tools, basically, for our team to use to keep themselves very on track and make sure that everything's getting done and things are getting followed up with. And of course, talking of tools, so we just recently, this week actually, on Monday, launched our Steady Demand Pro tool, which gives you all sorts of analytics and insights into how every kind of, how every post is doing. You can look back up to a year's worth of data right away, like 5 minutes after you load the tool up. You can look at the time of the day, you can look at the post types, for instance, and then you can drill down, more importantly, on a going forward basis. You can look, say, for instance, at yesterday. So you picked up maybe 3% new followers, 5% new plus ones, or maybe you lost some. And then you can go and look at the posts and see, okay, well, all right, so maybe a couple of those posts failed on grades, or maybe those posts got shared by this many people, and go out and view the ripples from there, etc. I know we're running a little bit short on time, so I'm going to kind of cut it short right there.
Okay. I want to see if anybody has any questions on that too. I think what's been really fun about this, and Ben, and we'll get more into that, is as everybody's putting their suggestions in of what they love, but again, this is what works for you, but it's really fun to see what's working for different people. Again, this recipe type of thing. And Jason Weiser's just fascinated with how Rebecca does things, by the way, because he wants to know, we'll go back to what are some of the tasks you have them do. So, emulation, that's the highest form of flattery, and Jason wants to do it the Rebecca way, which I
that's right.
Ben
That's
will
okay.
come back to you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, gosh, there are so many different tasks that you can delegate, pass off. It really all has to do with working to your highest and best. So where is your time best spent on a daily basis, identifying that, and then give everything else away. I am a firm believer that, as we have already stated multiple times, focus on what you do best. As Ben said, focus on your passion.
Yes.
And then find that person that complements you in the sense that, are you detailed? Find somebody that's creative, that's a big thinker, or vice versa. Make sure that that person really complements you well so they can come in and walk alongside you on every single product or project rather, and just take something and run with it. The last thing you need is to micromanage. At least that's the last thing I want to be doing.
Oh, I know it.
So it's really building a relationship with somebody too. You may need 2 or 3 different VAs just depending on their skill set, depending on what their strengths are. You may need somebody that specializes in video editing. You may need somebody that is just fabulous with photography or fabulous with strategy. So you really have to think through what your needs are too.
I like that. And just as an announcement, I'm outing myself that I am going to be looking for VAs for several different things. I'm making myself accountable that by January, either I'm going to be bald and lose my hair because I'm trying to multitask too much, or I'm going to really get out there and find a couple people. So I'll be putting it out there too. But highest and best use of time is one of my ultimate favorite phrases, Rebecca. I just love that, and when we all keep that in mind, and it's hard because we just get distracted, especially the entrepreneurs, and if you're doing it all yourself, right?
Yeah.
You don't really have that choice. But hey, Ben, I'm going to get back to you because you had a couple things too. Apparently, Charles Heights is on board already.
Thanks, Charles. Yeah, we worked hard on those notifications actually.
Awesome.
Like you can look at things like, for instance, what we call lonely comments, which is where somebody has commented on a post and it's gone from the jingles, and you'll never know about it. So we'll send you an email over if you haven't responded to somebody within the past 7 days.
Hold up. I'm all over that. That I'm in just for that. And then we've got Laura Williams, Ben Fisher. I need to work on a daily plan. I like the organic approach because I can answer, discuss, and respond in real time. Do you have a basic plan that you follow each day? So that's a good question for you.
Yeah, that is a really great question.
And I'm thinking that steady demand came out of needs from your own life. Of like what wasn't working for you, right? Or what you need. You had to figure out what was going to make your life easier.
Well, actually, so Stay Demand, we started out actually offering all sorts of services. We were doing Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter, blah, 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 looking at the overall strategy, which some people are great at doing, agencies are great at doing. And then we decided to focus in on Google+. When we did that, we actually took all of our people and we went out to Vegas. And we got a suite at the Bellagio. It was actually pretty cheap, by the way. You can get a huge suite.
That
just
sounds so
pack
fun.
like 6 or 7 people in there. Women get their own room, of course. But anyway, we did that and we strategized and we basically said, okay, look, here is the perfect steps day by day. These are the tasks that we should do every single month to reach these objectives for our clients. And we took a look at those objectives and we broke them down into basically very specific task lists, whether that be going in and sharing a blog post and then that gets tacked over to say a week later to share into the community, or whether that be you need to go in and do some +1s in the home stream to get people's attention. Or you need to say, hop into our tool and look at what's, say the best time of day to post, or what effects were going on. So so basically we took a service that you normally would charge per hour and we packaged it into a repeatable process.
Which I love.
And of course, the process changes a little bit for every client, but it's just a step of very, very repeatable processes. And that's why we can do things manually, because it's extremely time efficient.
You said the magic. You said the magic words too. This extremely time efficient, because I know anybody who's in Google Plus, your world and your time gets sucked away. It's like rabbit holes. Seriously, sometimes you're like, oh, I got caught on this stream because it was so much fun, and Stephan said this, and then I was looking at this, and this cool, and I'm going to loop into Backcrap Crazy because you're going to know what my Backcrap Crazy here is in a second, and Stephan, you're involved in this one. So we are running out of time. So Rebecca, I'm going to start with you. Pressure's on. What's your Backcrap Crazy, sweetie? Come on.
All right, decisions. Probably the thing I am most excited about, I have a new project I've been working on, rolling out next year. I can feel Ben's enthusiasm for this, so I know how excited he is. And the people I am getting the chance to work with, I am absolutely 100% Backcrap crazy. Say that 3 times fast. About it. I don't know about you guys, but being able to work with just brilliant individuals on a daily basis fires me up. It's so exciting. It really is.
Absolutely.
And, we've been in the planning stages, which with Ben, everything you've gone through, I'm sure you understand. You're just so engrossed every single day in the launch and getting everything ready. But being able to interact on that level with people that are just so amazingly talented at what they do every single day, I just have to give every single one of them a shout out because they are unbelievable and they make getting up in the morning super exciting.
Lucky, I love this. And then when is your new thing rolling out so we can keep an eye on you even closer than we are now?
First quarter of next year. We're shooting for the end of January.
Okay, perfect. We're gonna. I got my.
Hold me to it.
Exactly. You just outed yourself as well.
Exactly.
It's on YouTube forever now.
It's called accountability, baby. I'm putting it out there.
Rebecca's about accountability moment. Hey, Ben, what are you Backcrap crazy about?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm only going to be Backcrap crazy about 2 things. Not 4. Not 4. 2. Okay. So number 1, I am totally 1000% Backcrap crazy over Bethan Davies over at the Craft Star. I'm sorry.
Our girl.
I watched that show. I've known Bethan for a couple months now, and she was so brave, and she brought the human element really straight up smack dab into the face of Google Plus. And I mean, I want to see more of that. I mean, I really want to see more of that.
And we'll post the link here because Bethan is an amazing businesswoman and has thecraftsjar.com, and a lot of her people, I talk about bravery. She had not told her personal story, and she has a ton of people that she affects their lives. She busted it out, right, Ben? She was good stuff.
And the other thing that I'm bad crap crazy about is, of course, the Steady Demand Pro tool, which we launched this week. Really excited. People are loving it. People are using it. You know, we're getting great feedback on it. And, you know, I was on Stephan's show earlier. Thank you so much, sir, by the way. That was an awesome time. Check out his show every single week, by the way, everybody. But I guess that's a second back crap crazy, huh? All right, fine. We'll go for 3. So on the the third is that for, you know, we were only going to do the coupon code for 1 day. We decided to just extend it out right now. So basically, if you go to steadydemand.com, in the upper right hand corner, you click on Pro. We're giving right now 50% off for the lifetime of the tool if you use the code early. And by the way, it's a 14-day free trial. So what do you have to lose?
Wow. And then you can have that grandfather thing that Stephan and Rebecca were talking about that I was so jealous of. So
exactly.
So there's your chance. That is awesome, honey. Thank you. And we're going to post that in the link here too, because Ben, I'm seeing a lot of people are talking about this already in the stream over here. So Stephan, thank you for those, Ben. And Stephan, what do you BCC about?
Oh, I mean, I got a couple things as well. It's funny you said what you said, Rebecca, because it's almost exactly what I would have said. I have another project that I'm starting up next year that I'm super excited about. Kind of taking everything that I've learned here on Google Plus, combining it with everything I know about web strategy. It's a pet project of mine, and I think it's going to help an industry that needs a lot of help. So, you know, really help them understand a lot more about online marketing, and you know, I can probably make a couple bucks out of it too, which will be really cool. So that should start again in January, and so I'm really stoked about that. And you know what, I've pivoted my business now at this point, so I'm really excited about just all that stuff. You know, I love building websites. It's, you know, it's done me really well for over a dozen years now, but I'm ready to step up my game, and I'm doing it right now as we speak. So I'm super excited about it, and you know, that's just one of those really great ways to wake up in the morning. Jesus, Rebecca, you took like everything out of my, you took like the whole but it's great because you know what? We're all thinking the same way, and that's something worth being that crap crazy about too, I guess.
Exciting.
It is. And now, Kate, so what's fun to see again is a theme across all of us because we are jacked for 2014. I'm seeing across the board anywhere I'm posting, messages I'm getting. I've been saying this a lot. Usually it's a slow time during December. People are jacked up and have some good stuff going on. So I think that's pretty cool to see. A couple things real quick. Debbie Davis says, can I tweet that early code for Steady Demand? I'd say yes. Ben, yes. Brother Jason says, Jason Weiser says, I couldn't live without my VA. Sorry for hijacking. Actually, I'm glad you asked those questions because you totally picked Rebecca's brain on what I wanted about VA, so that's awesome. And before we go, my back crap crazy is that awesome Men on Pinterest trailer that Jeff C. made for you guys. It's not called Men on Pinterest, but I always call your show that, and I know it's tonight, so please post it. It is one of Jeff makes the coolest trailers. So
that is just epic. That thing. I mean, it's so good.
Funny. I'm super jealous as I ping to you, but I'm jealous in a good way because I just think it's so cool when people that I love have some cool stuff out there too. So we'll post that as well. So guys, that's it. We're at the hour. Thank you so much to my guests, Ben Fisher, Rebecca Radice, Stephan Hovnanian. You guys rocked it out today. Go as soon as we're done. If we have time, I'm going to head over to Chef's show. And David Oldenburg's show is on, but all these guests are going to comment and post their links and answering more questions, right, guys? Because you got a lot of people that are loving you. Yay! Over here. So that's it for the social media power chat. Happy Friday the 13th, everyone. Yay! Okay. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.